Good evening, the world. Welcome to another amazing episode of People Who Inspire. Today on Father's Day weekend, and we have an amazing personality who will be, engaging with us to share a little bit of his story and, of course, get to give us some tips to fathers. You have something amazing coming on. I am your host, Emmanuel Mbansi. Welcome again to People Who Inspire. Now, let me tell you about my guest. Take a little time to invite somebody to be a part of this conversation. There are a lot of things they will have to learn. And of course, if you know a father who you would love to give a special Father's Day surprise, share this link with them so that they get to plug in and learn a few things about parenting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is our distinct pleasure to welcome to the People Who Inspire stage the renowned Ghanaian media personality. He's a broadcaster and an author. He has authored quite a number of books, best-selling books that spans in the area of communication and media and marketing and sales and quite a lot of other areas. Now, with a career spanning many years, Mr. Dey has made a significant impact in Ghana's media landscape. He is the host of the GTV's breakfast show, and he has become a household name. I mean, you turn on your TV and you see Mr. Dey interviewing renowned men and women in politics, in education, in agriculture, in different industries and different spheres of life. He is a man who is sought after. He's an MC, he's an educator, he's done a lot of things which we'll be, exploring today. Now, he's known for his engaging storytelling, thought-provoking discussions, and charismatic presence, with his versatility extending to music production, public speaking, and digital marketing. He is a true Renaissance man, an accomplished author and a lecturer who has inspired countless individuals through his work. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have him share his inspiring journey and experiences with us today. So, drum rolling, let's welcome Mr. Kafui Dey.
Emmanuel.
Yes, sir.
Happy to be here.
Oh, welcome.
Awesome.
We are excited to have you.
People Who Inspire.
Absolutely.
I love the name of your podcast.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
Thank you. And
Yes.
you are certainly a person who inspires.
Thank you very much.
You've inspired me. How many years have we? It's been almost 8 years.
It's quite a while. Almost a decade, man.
Yes, almost a decade.
Yeah,
almost a
great
decade.
stuff.
We should celebrate soon.
Yes, indeed.
And happy Father's Day to
Thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
I have something for the fathers.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. I want to sing a
for,
song
for an icebreaker.
Yes. So, shout out to all the fathers.
Amazing.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you. Hip, hip, hip.
Hooray! Welcome.
Fathers, man.
Yes.
Doing a quiet job.
Yes. And that best wishes to you, of course.
Yes.
So, who is a father?
Well, let me talk about my father.
Okay.
Because that's the one I know most. So I remember him as somebody who would, and I think I was about 4 back then. I mean, he would drop our mother off at the supermarket and then take my brothers and I on a long ride. You drive around town, you'd be playing music in the car.
Special moment.
Yeah. We'd just be there watching the life go by and listening to good music.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that the music that he played while I was in that car is music now I play when I'm with my children.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the kind of smooth jazz mainly. And he used to take us swimming as well. So we've swum in some interesting pools. At a very young age. I think I was younger than even the right times. Maybe 3 or 4 we started swimming.
Amazing.
Yeah, so he
That's
taught
a
all
good
of us.
start.
Because he was an athlete. In school he was a swimmer, he played volleyball, he played cricket as well.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I think he wanted to pass on some of these things to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember him as somebody who gave his children a good time. And I do remember also once when we went, so I was much older than maybe in my 20s or maybe early 30s. We went out to town, and on the way back, he said, let's pop in here for an ice cream.
Right.
So we entered the ice cream parlor. It's a very hot day, around about noon. And the lady behind the counter was not very friendly. So when my father asked, how are you doing? She kind of said, fine, you know. My father wasn't faced. Just looked at me and said, young lady, good afternoon. I'd like you to give us 2 ice creams. Make them as beautiful as you. Man, the woman's face just changed.
Oh, she came alive.
She came alive, man. Her face just warmed up, and she served me first. Scoop, scoop. I mean, my thing. I had a mountain of ice cream for me, then another mountain for my father, and then we decided to eat the ice cream there. So before I took my spoon into it to take some of this cold, delicious ice cream, my father said, "Hold on, what did you just see?" What are you talking about? I mean, she just served that ice cream. He said, "Listen. When you know how to speak to people, they will do almost anything for you. You know, he wasn't worried about the rude attitude. He just overrode it with positive. You know, and say, hey, give me ice cream, make it as beautiful as you. You know, flatter her a little bit, give her something nice that she hadn't probably had anybody say anything nice to her that day. You know, and that ice cream was just. I mean, I learned a lot from that encounter, man.
Hey, Mr. Dey, talk about the anabolic and catabolic energy.
No be small. Just overrode the negative energy and forgot about it.
And each time you enter a room, that is, John Maxwell said that when a communicator enters a room, the feeling is different than when I'm sorry, no offense to educators, than when an educator enters a room. The tension, you know, the kids are feeling, are we going to be tested?
Exactly. It's like you have Moses coming down from Mount Sinai, and then you have all the knowledge. But people want to be met on their level. And if you meet on them on their level, magical things happen.
That's right.
So for me, that's who my father was. My father was somebody who taught us stuff, you know, skills, life skills. I still swim. My children also swim now. You know, made time for us, take us around, you know, and also taught the value of appreciating other people, you know, human communication. I'm not surprised that I'm in the field I am now because those skills are important in the world of media.
You've opened the floor for me already. So, Mr. Dey, you do a lot of things. You are known for a lot of things. And you are one of the most celebrated media person in Ghana.
Thank you.
And of course, for the program like People Who Inspire, we see you from afar. And coming closer to you, each time we interact with you, we see the originality. We see the creativity. We see the kindness. We see the support you extend to young rising stars. And now, the question now is, where do I start from? Because you do a lot of things. Tell us a little bit more.
Well, I'm known as a TV presenter now. So the beginning was way back in university, in second year. This is more than 30 years ago. I'm 53 now. I'll be 54 this year, God willing.
Wow.
Yes. So this is when I was possibly maybe 20 or 21, very early. Yeah, there was an opening for a presenter.
Okay.
It was a pirate station. I always thought it was a legal station. Later on, I found out that it was a pirate station. They kept moving the transmitter from hall to hall when the authorities were on their case. You know, but I had a chance to be a presenter, so I did a request show. So that's my first ever show on radio. It was radio. It was a request show. That's how I began. For the emceeing bit of things, I was working with a shipping company. Our boss was a Frenchman, Monsieur Leroux. And I remember one day, Mr. Leroux came up to me and said, Kafui, we have a reception tonight. You are the MC. I said, oh, okay, all right. I'm the MC. Never had done it before. Okay, what do I need a program. I need to know what's happening. Who am I going to introduce? I need to know their names. And don't talk too much. You're not the one they've come to see. You're just connecting people. So I just went into the event and I emceed the cocktail. And he says, and from then on, I became the company MC. Yes.
Wow.
So that's how I began in broadcasting and in emceeing. TV was a little show called In the House. So let me back it up a bit. Okay. So in 2008, I auditioned for Who Wants to Be Rich?
Yes.
Who Wants to Be Millionaire?
It was a big show.
Yeah. So, but that audition process took a year. So we did 2 rounds of auditions, and then everybody went quiet up until 2009. So somewhere inside 2009, a couple of friends came up to me and said they wanted me to host a TV show. It was called In the House. So basically, we went to Parliament House during the week, spoke to MPs and things, and then put it together and then edited it and then played it on Sundays after around church time in the mornings. So that was my first TV show I was doing in the house, and then I got the news that I was supposed to report to Nigeria for the final audition for Who Wants to Be Rich.
Who Wants to Be Rich?
So my first TV show was actually a current affairs show called In the House. My first MC experience was when I was a salesman with a French boss. My first broadcasting experience, radio, was on campus, second year university. What can you learn? What can the viewers learn? Well, the radio one was an opportunity. You know, I hadn't done it before. So the fact that you haven't done something before doesn't mean that you can't do it. Yes. So I hadn't presented, but I had some kind of performance experience because I was in a band in secondary school. I performed, so I knew how to deal with audiences. But it was an opportunity, which other people didn't take, you know, but I took it. For the MCing, same thing. I hadn't done it before, but I also now believe that when people can see more about you than you can see about yourself.
That's right.
So Mr. Leroux, God bless him, he's on retirement now, and so he's traveling around the world with his wife. Yeah, he said, you know what, you are going to MC this event. So sometimes when people tell you that you can do something, they are actually acting almost like a father. Because fathers can see what their children can do.
That's right.
Can do. Right. Yeah. So Mr. Leroux gave me the opportunity and I took it. And now it's something that I do for a living and I get paid for. You know. And for the TV also, it was In the House. Yeah. It was a small production, but my friends thought that I was the person for the job. You know. So I did it, and I was sad to have to leave them to go and focus on the Who Wants to Be Rich. But it was part of my development. Without that, I would have had maybe even experience to go do the Who Wants to Be Rich final audition in like Nigeria, which was a success.
Right.
So those are my beginnings. Those are the stories.
Now, I know, of course, that your father played a great role in preparing you for life.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, there is the normal home training, and then, of course, there is the school, and then there is other very practical life lessons and values they pass on to you. Now, today our topic is, or our discussion is going to be centered around the father's influence, shaping the next generation.
Right.
Now, I know you are a father as well. You have amazing boys, who are doing great stuff as well. Now, I want you to talk to us about the importance of fatherhood. You know, or the importance of having a father in one's life and the role the fathers play.
I think it's critical, not only for boys, but for girls too. When I speak to my female friends, they said, well, their father, the way their father engaged with them or connected with them, showed them how, if it was positive, it showed them how a good man should relate. And then for boys, you learn about masculinity and men and from your father, by observing him and seeing how. So fathers are kind of they have their role, you know, in shaping both of their children. So it's a critical relationship that children have. I remember when I was young, we had chores, so we would polish shoes, you know.
That's from dad?
Yes, because my father nearly ended up in the army.
Wow.
Yeah, so as for his shoes had to
must be shiny.
You know, and when you ironed his clothes, you never saw double line. If he saw double lines, he'd just say, am I a fisherman? Throw it away. Shout out to all the fishermen, man. We like what you do at work. But my father says, don't give me clothes which are not well ironed. I won't wear them. You know, so perfection, seriousness, and even I can even say my career right now is influenced by my father.
Oh, wow.
Because my father used to give my brothers, I had 3 brothers. He used to give us vocabulary exercises. So he would come back from work, we'd take off his shoes, take off his socks. Then he'd say, Kafui, what are your 10 new words? We had to give him 10 new words every day.
Wow.
Yes, 10 new words. So you'd have the word, maybe generation. Then you have how generation is pronounced. Then you have the meaning of generation. And then you have to put generation into a sentence.
And you have to give 10 of them.
10 of them every day.
Wow.
Yeah, so generation, then you have the pronunciation, phonetic pronunciation, generation. Then you have meaning of generation is there. And then you have to put generation into a sentence to prove that you understand what it means. There was no AI back then. Wow. So you couldn't ask ChatGPT to do your homework for you. You had to find 10 new words every day.
Oh, by yourself?
When I say every day, Sunday, New Year's Day, Christmas, doesn't matter. Every day 10. My father's calculation was a simple one. He says, listen, if you learn 10 new words a day In a month, you learn 300 words. In a year, you learn over 3,000 words.
Wow.
After 3 years, that's 10,000 words, new words. Not even your teacher will know more of the language than
Now
you.
I see.
Yes.
Now I see.
Yeah.
Now I see.
So I had a version of this. So I did it with my kids for a while.
Wow.
And it's just directly because of my father.
Impressive.
And then there was a time, my kids' handwriting was terrible. At least that's what the teacher said. And I'm sure in other homes around Ghana and around Africa, around the world, teachers are complaining and telling the parents that your children don't write. And I don't blame the children.
Right.
The children are not writing much.
They're
Most of
not
the staff
right.
is typing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. So my children's teacher said, go and buy them my first copybook. Now, my first copybook, if you are a Ghanaian, it's a book where you have maybe a sentence. Ama is going to school. And then you have a space for you to copy whatever was written there.
Right.
And I thought, this is not inspiring. It's boring. What do I do? My heroes, Kwame Nkrumah, Mandela, Agri.
Wow.
So I went and found books on
your heroes.
The life of Kwame Nkrumah,
Nkrumah.
Kwejo Agri, Nelson Mandela. And I gave a copy of the books to each of my sons, 3 sons. So I gave my eldest son Mandela, and then I gave the other guys, the rest, Agri and Kwame Nkrumah.
Kwame Nkrumah.
Mandela died. We were watching the news, and then my son says, you see the guy who is talking about Mandela? I know him. I said, what do you mean you know him? I said, I know him. Then he mentioned the person's name, Ahmed Kathrada also. He said he was in the ANC, he has of Indian origin, and he was Mandela's close confidant. So how do you know that? So the book you gave me. Because you see, those books I gave them, I made them every day write out just a paragraph of whatever the story says. Just write it out, copy the story. Because I wanted them not just to improve their handwriting, but also learn something about something interesting, useful. So though, I think it was a page or a paragraph, but you will write every day, you come back from school, you just take your book, and then you write, copy out whatever was written there in your own little exercise book. So he had gotten to, he had found about this Ahmed Kathrada guy in the book that I gave him to write his stuff.
And he could recognize.
He recognized it. I was watching news with him, CNN. And he says, I know that man. What do you mean you know that guy? I said, oh no, I know him. It's called Ahmed Kathrada.
Wow.
He was Mandela's guy, and then he pointed to me. So all this stuff I learned from my father, who put us to certain drills, to learn stuff and equip yourself for the world. So fathers, I think, have that role. You are supposed to provide a path for your children, and at some point let them know that daddy is not going to be around forever. Yes. So what I do is to put you on the path so that when I'm gone, you can still go. You can still continue. And I still think my father has passed now 10 years, but I still remember him, and the things that he's done for me are still in my life, and I can see him in my children, So your job is to just prepare them for the day that they can do without you. You don't have to think that you're going to be around forever. That's ridiculous. Yes. If the natural order happens, you would die before your children die. That's the way God made it. Parents are supposed to pass on before their children. Men even pass on before their wives most of the time. So in my mind, I will check out before my people. But while I'm here, I can teach them stuff, that they can use.
Now, if you are a dad watching this, maybe a young dad in the People Who Inspire Network, and you're watching this, you're asking yourself, how can I do better as a dad? Mr. Kafui Dey is saying this. It's very simple. Just continue with what you're doing. Pass on the godly principles and values to your children, and it will appreciate. It will appreciate. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, you never know. One day, it will come to serve them well. And we'll continue on our Father's Day discussion. But of course, you are, like I mentioned, you are a media giant, right? Now, I'm sure you've had many opportunities, which I have been a part of some of those opportunities, where you've mentored a lot of young people. Now, that is like holding a hand and say, I become this, I've become this, you too, you can become this. These are the steps, these are the skills you can acquire. Talk about mentoring, how important is mentoring for the Gen Z and the Gen Alphas? How important is that? In the World Economic Forum, Mr. Dey, 2020, they released a very profound and compelling article. And in their research, they mentioned some top skills that will continue to serve one who is industry ready or already in the industry, who that will continue to serve you well 2020 and beyond. And some of the skills they listed were things like the problem solving, critical thinking, cognitive flexibility, and many, many other ones. Now, when we talk about mentorship, you are one who has mentored thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. Now, because you've served almost 30 years in the media, impacting, holding hands of young other people, telling them, you know, you too, you can become it.
Yes.
This is, you attributed some of your success to your father, the Frenchman, and quite a number of other people who's giving you opportunities. Now, how important is mentoring? And what are some of the key skills that even these young folks can learn and focus on and build on?
I've been pleasantly surprised recently to have two young people in their 20s come up to me and say, you know what, I want to be a better master of ceremonies presenter. So I'd like to shadow you for some of your events. So if you go to MC an event, I'd like to know so I can come by and then just sit somewhere and observe you. And I thought, hey, that's great. Ladies, by the way. And so, yes, I've been going to my events with them, and they sit there, they observe. When we finish, I ask them, what did you learn? You know, what did you learn from this event? How did it impact whatever you're doing? And so on that level, that's mentoring. Just over the weekend, I had a chance to interview Konimo. He's like a legend in Ghanaian music.
That's right.
Folk music, palm wine guitar music. And he said something very profound. He said he wants to die empty. So all the knowledge that is in him, he wants to pour it out onto the people. And I just kind of loved it. At 94, but you see, at 94, he's still curious. He still wants to learn stuff. He wants to do a collaboration with Chatawale.
Really?
Yes.
At 94?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I actually had a chance to connect him with Chata on the phone, and the conversation was sweet.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. So at 94.
That's the mindset.
Yes. And he was talking about he respects the old people. And I'm thinking, you are 94.
Are you not old?
You are 94. But he respects old people because of the knowledge that they have, and the wisdom that they have, and the things they've seen, and they are passing on. So that's the kind of mentality that, in terms of soft skills, resilience, you know, not giving up easily.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Always looking for being solution oriented. You know, there's always, I take the GPS that we use. When I was coming here, you gave me the address. I popped it into the map, and the map tells you, okay, in 34 minutes, if you use this route, you get there. But if I go this way, the map still tells me, gives me an alternative and says, you will still connect to your destination, but it will take longer. That is how we should be thinking, that if this way is not working, let's try about this way and go and come back and still get there. You know, if I want to go from Accra to Lagos, it will take me 45 minutes by plane if I'm going towards the east. But if I go towards the west, it may be longer. In fact, it will definitely be longer because I'll have to go around America and come around. But if I still want to get to Lagos, I'll get to Lagos.
Yes.
But it may be longer.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
So that openness of mind to take different solutions and not expect everything to be fast tracked. Life is not a microwave. You don't just put something, you don't pop something in and then no. It's a process. It's like baking. It takes time. It takes time. This musician I spoke to, Konimo, he started out playing piano and organ. He only picked up the guitar when he was 20. In his 20s, that's when he started playing guitar.
Wow.
Yes. And now the whole world knows him, not as a laboratory technician, because that was his job at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, but they know him as a musician.
Right.
You know?
Even in Nigeria.
Exactly.
We know him. Yes.
So long perspective, trying to make impact, pass on your skills to people. When schools call me for sessions with their students, I go. I've been to the central region, I've been to western region, I've been to northern region. I drove to the northern region on Springboard.
Alberto Cran's program.
I drove there. Just for the experience. I'd never driven to Tamale before. I'd never been to Tamale before. But I thought, let me go to Tamale. They gave me a plane ticket. I said, put your plane ticket. I want to drive.
The experience.
So I drove to Kumasi, slept over, drove to Tamale, I will go where the students are, if they call me to talk to them, I will talk to them. Yes, because you don't imagine the joy that you get when maybe 15 years after you spoke somewhere, somebody meets you and says, Charlie, boss,
It was
you
you.
said something, and it just changed my whole outlook. So I've even forgotten. And the guy tells me that, this is what happened. So yeah, you never know who you're going to impact. So just do it, man. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow,
Nike,
wow.
just do it.
I mean,
That's what you're wearing.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it, Nike. Well, that's really profound and inspiring, you know. The reason for this platform is to continuously inspire you to believe you too can become, you know, bringing about hope, direction, and purpose, helping you to discover your purpose and lead with purpose.
One time.
Now, Mr. Dey,
Yep.
as you said, I could call you Kaf.
Yes, 100%.
With due respect,
worries.
you know.
My kids don't call me Kaf, though. They call me Daddy.
Of course. Now, on Father's Day
Yes.
weekend, you know, or Father's weekend in 2025, what are some of the lessons you have learned that you want to pass on to any dad who is listening to us now?
The children want you to be at home, no matter where you go. I can sense that when I'm home, the vibe is very different with the kids. I can sense that there's some kind of, okay, dad's around, so everything is okay. You know, you get that feeling. I may be in my room, they may be in the hall, and when I step out and I come out, I can just sense the vibe that they like it. They won't say it, but they like it that daddy's around. You know, so I think the kids want you to be at home. Yes, so that's important. The presence, they want you around. Children look up to their parents.
A lot.
Yes. And boys especially look up to dads. They do. All these wonderful things I'm saying to you about my father, I'm sure he kind of suspected that, or kind of felt that he was my role model. But I never said these things to him. You understand? I never said it, but he was my number one guy. I never said these things to him. Although there was one day when he thought he was leaving this world, and then he called me in this room and asked me to look after one of our uncles. He said, listen, I'm putting your uncle into your hands, and you're going to take care of him. Okay. And I said, the old man has serious confidence in me, you know, and I was really touched by that. Yeah, so the kids look up to their parents. They want their parents to be around, you know, and I like to initiate conversations with them. So, who annoyed you today at school? Instead of, how was your day? Just say fine. So what made you smile? You know, there's some nice questions. If you go online and you ChatGPT is great today, man. It's helping parents. You can ask. Give me a couple of questions I can ask my children about, that will elicit some nice conversations.
Interactions with them. Yeah.
So, which of your teachers annoyed you today?
Wonderful.
Let them tell you. Yeah. So that they want that connection. They want the presence.
Yes.
They look up to you.
Yeah.
Even though they won't say it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, if you were to, summarize your personal journey in the media, right? How would you summarize it, and what would be your most important takeaway?
Okay.
That you could throw to the younger generation,
okay,
and have them pick it and run with it, because it's not every day that you get the opportunity to speak to Mr. Dey.
No wala.
No
wala. I'll shout out the people, maybe like my fathers and maybe my mothers, who taught me stuff. So apart from my parents, and my mom was a great woman.
Right.
Or maybe on Mother's Day we can have a chat on Mother's
Day.
Okay. She was a great woman.
Okay.
So my boss, Mr. LaRue, who gave me the opportunity to become an MC.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to Mr. LaRue. Mr. IK Inketia, he was my second boss. I worked with him in Takrady. I was trained there as a salesman in shipping. And he advised me one day, he said, young man, get your first salary. If you can afford it, buy a mattress. Second salary, buy the wooden frame, put your mattress in it. Third salary, buy things that you can take along with you when you're going. He says he's known too many public servants who, when they because they were living in government house, official car, they didn't take care of themselves. and before you know it, you are 60 years old, you're going on retirement, you don't have anything. So Mr. Nketia, my first salary, I bought a mattress. Even though there was a mattress in my room, I went and bought one for myself. So I love him for just that advice. You know, my mom made it a habit for me to, anytime I got paid, I would buy something small for the house, whether it's bread or some Milo or some toilet roll or something, so that you know that your salary is not for you alone.
Yes, that sense of responsibility.
Yeah. The money is not for you alone. It's for other people too. You're supposed to help other people as well. So salary comes, we'll buy some bread, you know, buy something, you know, just you're thinking about other people. So shout out to my mom for that. Mrs. Judith Ajiman, she was the CEO of Capital Radio. That's where I had my first radio job after school.
Wow.
She gave us an opportunity to run a radio station. We were all like 20 and early 30s.
Amazing.
We ran a station. One of my friends right now is the CEO of that station.
Wow.
Mrs. Ajiman has passed on, may she rest in peace. But Kozai is now the CEO of that institution. So shout out to her.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. So these are people who kind of impacted into my life.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think about them. I'm grateful to God for their influence in my life. Of course, my father, number one. Mr. Asise, my friend who is now the CEO of Capital, he said, it's better for you to do something and forget that you have done it than for you to forget and then suddenly remember that you haven't done it. You know, so when you give me an assignment, I want to do it immediately.
Right.
So that I don't forget.
Yeah.
So say working immediately. You don't have time.
Yeah.
Time is something we don't control.
Planning. That's right.
And do things now.
Nailing it. Just like Obama said, he said, when you get an assignment, nail it.
Just do it.
Nail it. Just do it. Nike. Now, for people who inspire, we always end with hearing the thought of our inspirational voice.
Yes.
You are an inspirational voice
Thank you.
on this platform right now. And we want you to share your experience. How do you see this conversation? And what would you give as a final thought to our listeners on the People Who Inspire Convo today, especially to fathers?
Nobody has asked me, you've asked me questions that have got me thinking about, okay, what was my earliest experience with my father? This is the first time I'm saying this anywhere, you know, that we used to go on these rides or we used to go swimming. Nobody. So I thank you for that. Sometimes the interviewer also wants to be interviewed.
Yes.
You know, sometimes the interviewer also wishes that somebody could ask him or her questions that he or she has been asking other people. So I thank you for this opportunity, and I've enjoyed it. It's interesting for me to see the link between my dad and me, and then my children too, and then there's some continuities that I have passed on all the way, and I'm looking forward to my children also becoming fathers.
Absolutely.
Because I would love to see those grandchildren. Am I a grandpa? If God wills it, that's
absolutely, very soon.
Yeah, because you see, now I understand the look my father used to have on his face when he saw his grandchildren. Because then he's like, I'm a grandpa now, you know. So I have this generation after me, and there's one also after that generation. Amazing. It's just a blessing.
Yes. Awesome. How do you see this platform?
This is a platform that, the name of the show itself, People Who Inspire. Inspire means yes the root of the word is actually breath, you know. Inspiration. So it's life. It's a life-giving platform, you know. If you don't inspire, you don't breathe. So people who inspire, people who breathe life into other people, you know. And I'm sure people are going to be touched by the episodes that they watch. And the whole thing is not just to be touched, but to take something and use it. You know, if you get knowledge and you take it and you add it to whatever you have, you become a better person.
That's right.
And nobody will even know that this is where you learned your stuff from.
That's right.
Yeah. So inspire, breathe in the program.
That's right.
And let it just give you life for you to do greater things.
Awesome.
To touch and shape the next generation.
Awesome. Just in wrap up, some of your books, some of your publications.
So my first book was called How to MC Any Event.
That's right.
Shout out to Mr. LaRue.
Shout out to you.
And then I also wrote Public Speaking A to Z.
That's right.
With my eldest son. He was the illustrator.
Amazing.
I'll look for copies and send to you for you to have a look. So
I love that.
He was the illustrator. He did cartoons for every single chapter.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I made sure I had to write the book in a language that he would understand. And so the book is very simple, but all the illustrations are done by Kelly. So we are co-authors, Kafui Dey and Kelly Dey.
Kelly Dey.
Yes. And I've written children's books as well.
Amazing.
There's one called Waiting for Dada. It's based on a true story my mother told me.
Oh, that's nice.
There's
who wouldn't like to read that?
There's The Friendly Toothbrush. My children didn't like brushing their teeth, so I wrote a poem for them on how to brush.
So he was inspired by this.
I am your friendly toothbrush. Surprised to hear me speak. I work for you 2 times a day, all 7 days in the week. That's the first line.
Amazing.
And I also wrote a book on the last tree. Because I was
Right.
thinking about environmental issues and what will happen if the last tree is left in the world. You know, and so these trees could actually talk. You know, and they were seeing people coming to cut them down and everything. So three little children's books.
Thought-provoking.
Yeah, things I'm interested in. You know, yeah.
Wow. Of course, they can reach out to you on LinkedIn as
Yes,
Kafui Dey.
that's it. TikTok.
TikTok.
Yes. Just
By the way, tell us about your TikTok. It's
so
been trending.
I do ever lessons there on TikTok.
Yes.
I wish I taught my children more ever when they were growing up.
Right.
So this is almost like me trying to make up for it, and then in the process of doing that, other people are also learning it. I've had people come into my DMs and say, "Listen, I'm Fanti, my wife is Eve, and now I can go to the family house and I can say a few things, and they'll think, wow."
Because of what you've taught them.
Another woman said her husband came and spoke Eve to her, and immediately she thought he had a girlfriend. So, who taught you this? So I like that. I like that people are learning this. I have there's a guy in German who's teaching German and Polish, but he's also learning Eve. So he's following me on TikTok as well. Yeah, so it's Kafui Dey 7. 7 is my favorite number.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so yeah.
Follow.
I do interviews. I interview people on YouTube as well. So I'm quite busy doing what I like.
Very, very busy. It's really a great pleasure and an honor for us to host a giant in the media space on the People Who Inspire platform. And again, we are truly privileged to have Mr. Kafui Dey on our show today.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much. And
Take
again,
care.
happy Father's Day. We wish you all the best. And may you continue to make greater impact.
Thank you so much.
May the future generation rise and celebrate you and call you blessed.
Amen.
And may your name continue to be a household name even in 150 years' time.
Amen. And keep shaping the next generation.
Absolutely.
And keep watching People Who Inspire.
Thank you so much and have a great weekend and best wishes on the Father's Day celebration to all fathers. And if you know one, tell them People Who Inspire celebrate them. Have a good one.
Happy Father's Day
to you.
Happy Father's Day
to you.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you. My name is Emmanuel, host of the People Who Inspire. Have a good weekend.